going on, everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Contenders Coaches Show. I'm your host, Coach Devon Powell, Law High School head football coach. I got my co-host here with me tonight, Midnight Rider. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Hey, man, it's another day, man. I'm on location today, man. I'm down in Myrtle Beach, so
Okay.
took a couple of days, a couple of days to relax, man, since I didn't get to take no vacation this summer, man, and get away for a little bit.
Okay. That's what's up, man.
Yeah. So, man, we got everybody. Thank y'all for joining us again today, man. We got another great show as always, man. We missed you guys last week. We took some time off for Labor Day, but we're back going strong. Good show filled today, man. We're going to recap week 1 in PG County football. A lot of good football action this weekend, man. And, shout out to my boys, my Law Spartans, for getting the W this weekend. Then we got our special guest tonight, man, Mr. Tino Ellis, DeMatha alum, former DeMatha Stag, University of Maryland Terp, and NFL player, going to join us, man, and just shed some light for our young guys, for our young ballers out there. And then we're going to finish up the show previewing week 2 in PG County football this week, man. So everybody just sit back, enjoy, man, and, if you got comments, come on into the comment section, man, and we'll get in as many as possible. All right? So let's just talk real quick, Midnight Rider, man. You came out Friday night to see our game Friday versus Parkdale High School under the lights at the 300, man. So what did you think of it?
First, thank you for taking care of me. It was perfect, the setup and everything. What did I think? I love your quarterback. I think that's number one.
Yeah, number one, Demarius Custis.
Custis 3 stood out to me.
King James Corbett.
And then number 7.
And number 7, Kareem Oyakin.
Okay.
Play wide receiver. Yep. It's funny you say that. Those was our 3 stat leaders for the for the night. Demarius Custis went 11 for 20, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then had 6 rushes, 31 yards, and a touchdown to add on top of that. And he's just a junior. He started last year for me as a sophomore, so he's just in his junior season. So, a lot of potential there, and he's just getting better, man. So, King James Corbett, senior running back, he had 5 rushes for 68 yards and 1 touchdown. And then Kareem Oyakin, he's also a junior, played on varsity last year as a sophomore. Was also on our state championship basketball team. And he had 6 receptions, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So big games by those 3, man. And defensive wise, Jabrilla Bangor, number 22, is our defensive end.
Yeah.
He finished with 2 sacks. Could have had about 8. But he had a big game. And the guys, man, they played hard. We hadn't beaten Parkdale in I think 3 years. And Parkdale is one of those teams, they may not be one of the most talented teams in the area, but their coaching staff gets them to play hard every single time they come out. So we knew it was going to be a tough battle. Like I said, last year we played there and they beat us pretty bad last year, man. So we had it out for them this year. So, we came out hot. We went up 20-0 in the first quarter. Then, we got a little bit undisciplined. Penalties killed us in that second quarter, man. And I know one drive we had 3 back-to-back penalties, 2 holdings, and then a false start.
Yep.
That put us behind the sticks, and we was marching in to go up at least 26-0. So, it was a learning experience for my guys. They got to realize that they got to keep their foot on the pedal. And, we got to get better this week, man. We're going up against the state runner-ups this week in Wise High School, and, that's going to be a dogfight. So we got to come bring it. But I was happy with our performance, man. Outside of the mistakes, I think our guys competed. We tackled a lot better than we have been in the last 2 years, I say. And, I'm just excited to see where we go from here.
Yeah, I mean, I love the. I'm guessing that was a called onside kick. Um,
Yeah, we practice kicking it short.
okay,
um,
yeah, I like that. Um,
uh-huh.
actually, your kicker was pretty good the whole night. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and that was his first time ever kicking a football. He had
oh,
never
okay,
kicked in a football game before. He's a soccer player. And yeah, he was on point. That was pretty impressive of him being his first time ever playing in a football game.
yeah, for sure. Because you couldn't have told me that um beforehand or during the game. I just knew he had been doing it for a long time. So that was a good thing, man. It was just a good night. I got out around halftime because I had a long week at work, but I
Hmm.
saw the score 26-18. So Parkdale looked like they wanted to. I think if you had gotten that 26, I think they may have laid down on you.
Yep. I said the same thing. We would have scored on that drive and not shot ourselves in the foot on that one. I think they would have rolled over on that one. But they said they fight hard. They came back and fought, but we was able to respond when we needed to. So it was a good night. Good night, man. So, we start the season off 1-0. Like I said, we're hitting in Wise on Friday night down there in Upper Marlboro, man, and we're gonna go at them.
Okay.
They the big dogs in the county, but we going at them Friday night. So I don't know my man Coach Rapp is listening, but Coach, you know me, I'm coming. I'm coming. So, um, uh, just to recap, some scores for the week, man. I'm gonna run through some of the teams we had out there. Let's see, Bladensburg, another 4A school, man. They played against Crossland over the weekend, and Crossland actually defeated them 45-0.
Mm.
Don't have no stats or highlights for that game listed, but then we had Bowie. Bowie took on Gwynn Park, and this coach is Gwynn Park first year, and I can't remember his darn name right now, but his first year there, he just took over for Danny Hayes, um, and they beat Bowie. They beat Bowie 34-0. So that was a big win for Gwynn Park there. Flowers High School went against Eastern out of DC and defeated them 23-7. Let's see, we had Wise. Wise traveled down to Kings Fork, Virginia, face off against one of Virginia's best teams down there, and they came up short. They wound up losing 27-19. A few stats from that game. Uh, Wise's running back Cameron Parker carried the ball 12 times for 68 yards. Eric Wedge, the third quarterback, went 14 for 22 for 138 yards and a touchdown. And then the big guy in the middle linebacker, Theodore Riley, 12 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss. Um, he was all over the place. So um, that was some good stat lines for Wise, man, but they just came up short down there in Kings Fork, Virginia. Then we had Duval and Potomac. That game was ended early because of weather, but I think Potomac was up 22-0 when that game was called. Of course, we went over to Laurel Park, their score already. Eleanor Roosevelt faced off against the Digital Pioneers from out DC, and they beat them 7-0. Quarterback Bryce Durham was 11 for 23 for 133 yards and a touchdown. Receiver Dante Whitaker had 7 receptions, 83 yards, and running defenseman Jonathan Smallwood had 8 total tackles. 7 of those were tackled for losses. So a big game there for him. And then we had, let's see, Northwestern took on Central from out of PG County, and Central beat Northwestern 38-6. And let me see, I think I missed a couple more. Hold on 1 second. The Suitland game versus Bell from out DC was canceled. I'm not sure why that was canceled, but that game was postponed. Then we moved to some of the 3A, 2A, 1A schools. Largo, they had a good game this weekend against Oxon Hill, but Oxon Hill won that game. I can't remember the score of that one, but my guy Tymon Fox, the running back from Largo, had 16 carries, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We had an interview with Tymon a couple of weeks ago down at Media Day. So that was a big game for him. And then I'll recap some of the other scores later so that we can stay on time after I find them, because all of them are not listed in the state records yet. So once I find those, then I'll get those in. Let's see. Okay, we got Saratsville versus Reginald Lewis. Saratsville won that game 6-0. That was the first game with their new head coach, and I don't know his name either. After they released our boy Mark Wilson down there. And let's see. Fairmont Heights lost 21-0 to Chesapeake out of Anne Arundel County. And that's all I got for right now. So I'll check on the rest later. All right. Check the comments real quick before we move on to guests. Anything you want to bring up real quick, Midnight?
Your guy from MFV Sports. I didn't know that was him, but he does a good job. He does a good job getting angles and pictures and coverage, man. I went back and I need to find him online and join his network or whatever so I can get more content from him. Because he had the 3 touchdowns that I saw online first thing that morning. So I got to see them all over again. But yeah, man, give him a shout out for sure.
Yeah, he does a great job, man. My guy Kirsten at MFV All Sports Network, man. He, he's on the field. He gets all kinds of angles, man, and his recaps on YouTube on his page, man, are outstanding. So if you ever get a chance to follow up, you want to follow some of the games that he's covered. It's a great look, man. And he does a great job every time he comes to Law. And his comment was, he said the muff punt changed the momentum in Parkdale's favor. So, yeah, we had a muff punt during that game, and they came back and scored after that. But luckily, we was able to respond off of that, too. So, all right, man, we're going to move on now. We're going to bring in our special guest tonight. Like I said earlier, he's a former DeMatha Stag, a former Maryland Terp, NFL player. His stints with the Saints and the Dolphins. We'll bring our guy in right now, Mr. Tino Ellis. What's going on, Tino? How you feeling tonight?
I think you muted yourself.
Yeah, I think you got to unmute yourself.
No sound.
Yeah, no sound. 1 second. It might be the AirPods.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Sorry about that.
Yep, no problem. Hey, how's it going, man?
Every time you do your pods, you lose your sound, brother.
Okay, there we go. We on now. Can you hear me?
All right, gotcha. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, sorry about technical difficulties and stuff.
Yeah, no problem, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Just been working, grinding and stuff. How about you guys?
Doing good, man.
Doing good, man. Like I said, I appreciate you taking some time joining the show tonight, man. I work with your dad, and football guys always seem to gravitate to each other. So, we just having some conversations one day, man, and got to talking football, and he knew a lot of the guys that I knew, man, and of course Mike Anderson, who's a good friend of mine, man, and we got to talk about him, man. He was like, man, you know what? I'm gonna hit Tino up, man, and tell him he need to join the show, man, because I'm sure he got some knowledge to kick for the young fellas. And I said I appreciate that, man. So I thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So, it's when you're playing sports, man, and you play on a high level as you've done most of your life, man, it takes a lot of hard work and commitment, man. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, and about your journey and your career path.
So I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, Ricerstown area, Baltimore. Played through all the rec leagues and stuff, Gork, Columbia Ravens and stuff, and worked my way up to DeMatha, spent some time there, had an amazing experience, great career there. Maryland, played at Maryland, started 3 years there. It came out 2020, came to the Saints, spent some time with the Dolphins, and now we're here. And it's been an amazing journey, a process, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, but I've just been staying level, staying neutral through the whole entire process.
So some of our, I always talk to especially my team, my young guys, man, and it's always trying to let them know that, playing a sport and you telling me you want to play on the next level, but you're not giving me next level commitment and work, man, and that's one thing that a lot of young guys think that that it's an easy road. So we can just talk about that a little bit, man, and explain to them how much time it takes to get in and to get to that level of playing in college and in the NFL.
Yeah, man, to make it to the next level, Division I, definitely NFL, man. You got to be dedicated and you got to be obsessed. That's it. Like dedicated and obsessed. You got to eat, breathe, and sleep football. And you got to think about it because a lot of guys just have this mindset of just the local guys. I'm just competing with the local guys. I'm going at it with the local guys. I want to be the best in the state, bro. There's kids from Florida getting it, kids from California, Texas, and they love ball. And that's who you're competing with. You're not competing from the kid from DeMatha, St. Francis, Spalding, all those other schools. You're competing with kids all over the country, and that's how each kid should look at it. You shouldn't look at it as just I'm competing with the guys. I want to be top in the state. Even if you are a so-called top guy in the state, at the end of the day, you need to think about the next level and what it takes to get there. And you gotta be dedicated. You gotta be obsessed. You gotta love this shit. You love it for sure.
So when you talk about that, talk about your experience like walking on campus at Maryland and just what was it like day one, going from being maybe the star at DeMatha and then now you're amongst everybody here at Maryland.
Yeah, it can be a humbling experience, for sure. Being a top guy on the team, going to school and starting basically all over again. You're the low man on the totem pole. And you think about it. If I'm an incoming freshman, I'm thinking about, I want to earn the respect of my coaches and my teammates and the staff members throughout the whole entire program. I don't care, not just the coaches. I'm talking about in the tutoring rooms, treatment, all that stuff, because all that stuff matters. And when you come in as a freshman, my main thing was that I wanted the coaches. I'm here to work. I'm here to help out this program and be an asset. Try to help, and that's what kids need to understand nowadays, because a lot of guys they get so they think about the stars, they think about all the other stuff. You only go to one school, bro. Yeah, you got these many offers, but bro, you only go to field one time. You only get one offer, and then you got to only go to one school. So like a lot of people they overthink the process. Like, bro, when you just get to school, you must set the tone. You're gonna respect your teammates, you're gonna respect your staff. That's my process going through the whole entire process and everything.
Tino, I think you hit something and changed your sound. Now you sound a little bit far away. Now you're on mute.
Now you're on mute, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Could you repeat that last question? Sorry.
I'll ask you something else. Because you kind of covered the Maryland question. Did you have a turning point that made you understand the value of how much work you had to do? Like, did you feel like you was there, you were doing work, and you thought you were doing enough, but when you looked at the next guy, you knew you weren't doing enough?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that first training camp at Maryland, that's when I realized, like, I thought I was putting enough work, but I really was nowhere near it, because I would see guys like Will Likely and even DJ Moore, would put in extra work, extra time and stuff, just on the small stuff and the details that would really take your game to the next level. I mean, in terms of like watching film and everything like that, I actually learned how to break down like the actual film and how to study the film. I learned that through Will. He had a certain way of how he operated and did things. And that's the thing too. When you have a guy that's a special player on the team, that's a leader, that's a so-called star, hey, follow their footsteps, ask them questions, pick their brain, because it's about learning too. It's just not about physical or how hard you can work, because you have to prepare mentally as well. So that was like the turning point where I was like, okay, let me lock in with him. Let me shadow him and figure out why he's succeeding so much and why he has so much success in this program.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So still touching on the commitment and the time commitment. Explain the challenges that you had to face with, being a student athlete in college, and also handling the academic part, because, that's a big part of it. You got to stay eligible. You gotta get your football hours in each week, man. But you also got to do the educational part. So just explain, that challenge and how hard that was to navigate through that process.
Well, the challenge was through that one was, it was more about just time management with me personally. Like, I had more free time in college than I had in high school. Coming from Baltimore, I would travel about an hour, every day just to go to school. And by the time I got home, it'd be time, 8 o'clock after practice and all the other stuff. Man, it's time to study, do some homework and go to sleep and do the same thing all over again. So I actually had more time in college, and with that, it was easy to manage for me, because like I've always been in my books and stuff like that and taking care of business. So it wasn't really that challenging for me, because I actually had more free time and more resources as well. Because Maryland did a fantastic job with that, with all the tutors and libraries and research, the gear and stuff that they gave us, for school. It helped me a lot. So it really wasn't that much of a challenge compared to like high school, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with your experience, you was at the Mather, one of the best programs in this area, if not nationally over the years. And a good friend of mine is Coach L, who's the JV head coach there. That's my boy. I know he's been at that program for a while. So tell us, how playing at the Mather actually helped set you up for some success on the next level.
Man, it helped me so much. Like, I can't even put it into words, because that program and how Coach Elijah Brooks ran it, at the time, man, it was so competitive, and the grind was real, man. It was real, and we were so competitive. Everyone pushed each other. Then we had like alumni that would come back, and we would talk to them and try to learn stuff from them as well. And also too, just the tradition and holding up to the standard of, DeMatha, and being a DeMatha player, that meant something to me as well. Guys like, I looked up to guys like Kenny Tate, and a lot of those guys that went to DeMatha, and I just wanted to hold up and live up to that standard that they set, previously before me. And that was just my mindset the entire time.
Go ahead, Coach. You got another one. Go ahead.
All right. So now let's talk about the transition from college into the NFL. A lot of people, we just see, we see the combine. You see that on TV. The NFL makes sure they're gonna televise that and market that. But explain the process of coming, preparing for the draft. Coming out of finishing your college career, preparing for the draft, and heading into that next phase of your career.
Yeah, man. At that point, it's your job. It's your livelihood. So your mindset is a little bit more different compared to just focusing on school and football. And really, being in an environment and training and trying to prepare for that, it's more of a mental thing than physical. I would say, you have to prepare mentally by your playbook, special teams plays, all that stuff that's really important for you. Definitely when you're an undrafted free agent, like I came in, or just a low draft pick, man, all that stuff is really important to you. So it's more mental than physical. But on the physical aspect of it, the game is just so much faster. It's not even like a comparison. And that's why a lot of people that are really successful in college football, sometimes the game don't translate because, bro, like it's just a different type of game speed, different type of coaching, different. The intensity level is on a different scale compared to college football.
Talk about your draft process. Like, what was that like? I know you had to interview with teams and things of that nature. Talk about some of that.
So the whole process was a great one. Whole pre-draft, I flew down to Florida, worked with Pete Bomarito, and try to work on the different drills and stuff like that for my pro day at the time. And the pro day ended up getting canceled because of COVID. So I didn't even have a pro day, didn't have anything, just straight film for me. That's how I got into the league. But that process, man, it was a great one. My agent put everything together, and I talked to my family about it, and we came up with a plan, with diets and everything, and it was a great process. But I talked to a couple of different teams. I wasn't able to fly there and work out like how you normally do, so we just do like how we're doing here, just over Zoom or just digitally, and they're interviewing me and go through the whole process of breaking down film and talking about their schemes and things like that. And it was a fun process though, for sure.
So what you was just saying about the interviewing process, man, so when it comes to the NFL, I'm kind of a GM at heart. I'm that would be my dream job, to be a GM for a team, man. So if you can shed some light, explain like the interviewing process, like what type of questions do they ask you guys? Like you hear reports of these off the wall questions, so what does that whole process look like?
Yeah, man, some of the interviewing process is some of the questions are crazy. I mean, I had one question was like, how many girls have you dated? It was like, it didn't relate to anything to football, but like they pay attention to everything, and there's nothing that you can hide. They asked, and I remember one time they asked like an assistant trainer, the 49ers asked the assistant trainer how my personality was. So like your character, everything, how you operate, who you talk to, who you surround yourself with, all that stuff matters. And those teams, they do know about those things. And, you just want to try to be as clean cut as possible and, abide by their rules and be, just focus on ball, I would say.
So, talk about you said you were with the Saints and the Dolphins?
Yes.
What was the difference between those two programs?
The difference between those two programs is that I would say when I first got to New Orleans, there was a lot of older guys on the team. They had Breeze. What else did they have? On defense, they had Cam Jordan. That locker room was a lot of older guys, and the way the GM put the team together, it was just an older team. So the locker room vibes and the camaraderie of the team was a lot different compared to Miami. When I came to Miami, it was like one of the youngest teams in the league in 2020. So that experience was just a lot different. Guys were a little bit more, open and getting to know guys in Miami compared to the Saints. I would say that's the only two difference compared to Miami.
So when you came in, you come in with the Saints, you're undrafted or whatever. How does how do the guys look at guys that come in? You might not be a high draft pick. Are you looked at differently? Do you walk in there like you got to have a bigger chip on your shoulder, like you got more to prove or something like that?
100%. Because at the end of the day, when you walk in that facility, that team didn't draft you. So of course there's a major chip on my shoulder. There was a huge boulder on my shoulder when I first got into that, got to the Saints. And I just try to put my head down, work, respect my teammates, try to be a asset as much as possible, you know, and that was just my mindset and how I operated when I was with New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like a starstruck moment when you were in New Orleans, or even in your second stint with the Dolphins, when you're stint with the Dolphins?
I wouldn't necessarily say like starstruck, but like when I did meet Drew Brees, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, damn, I just met Drew Brees. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the man in the in the organization. But I think that was like the only time. After that, I just got used to it. I was like, oh, that's Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore. It ain't really, but yeah,
Gotcha.
that was the one time I was like, and one time when we had a joint practice with Tom Brady at the Buccaneers, that's when I was like kind of starstruck. That was like the only two times really, Drew Brees and like Tom Brady. But other than that, nah.
Actually, yeah. Marshawn actually had a decent game this weekend, man. You know, I was Lattimore. I was worried about him last year. And I know he wasn't healthy, but he had a decent game for us this week. So,
And man, he a baller, man. Like that's one of the best DBs I ever been in the same room with. Like that guy's a baller when he's healthy. You know, that's the main thing. When guys aren't healthy, you know, you can't really play at 100%. It's tough, but man, Lattimore, he a baller for sure.
So a lot of the younger kids, man, you know, they look at the NFL and they see what goes on Sundays, you know, Mondays and now Thursdays and Fridays. But you know, try to explain to them like what goes on during the week, the stuff that we don't get to see unless you're watching Hard Knocks. You know, some of that stuff with the meetings and the studying and things like that.
Man, the preparation is tough. You know, the preparation to prepare on Sundays is not just what you see. You know, it's guys being in the meet rooms and putting that work in after as well. And another thing too, a lot of people that don't really understand, they think that the guys that's out there, they're just, you know, the guys that aren't banged up, that's not on the injury list. All those guys are, you know, the guys that are out there, they're healthy. No, you know, you have injury week 1, week 2, you had that thing all the way down to week 16, week 14. It's a lingering injury. So constantly throughout the week, you know, you getting massages, you getting therapy, you getting red light therapy, you doing whatever it takes. So on Sunday, you know, you can be out there going at 110%. And that's a lot of stuff that people don't see, a lot of fans don't see. And also too, man, just the roster, the 53 roster for like that week, is so many interchangeable players as well, because a lot of fans and people from the outside, they just see it as like, oh, NFL, you're on the team. But no, like you have a left guard or something and he have an ankle injury week 1, he out for 2 weeks. It's a guy that's somewhere might get signed, or there's a left guard that's on practice squad that's about to be up. And that's another open spot for a practice squad. So another guy about to get signed to the practice squad. So like that's a lot of stuff that people that don't see, the fans don't see. You know, they don't see the whole picture of it. But man, the process of just getting ready for game day, it's a lot. Man. It's a lot.
So what's a regular day in the life of an NFL player? Like, take us through. Most time, what, your Tuesday's your off day, and you're in Wednesday?
Yeah, so usually how we did it in Miami, it was Monday and Tuesdays were our off days.
Okay.
But still, me personally, like I would come in, show my face, you know, you don't want to be, when you a lower guy on the roster, hey, you better be in that facility every day, you know, because they watching. But I'll try to come in there Monday, Tuesday, even if it's something small. I get like my legs work or something, or just something, run, get in a hot tub, swim, you know, be in the facility, do something. Then, you know, Wednesday will be like, you know, probably like a full practice sometimes. It depends on how early or late in the schedule would be. But we have a normal hard practice on Wednesday, and that's when it's like the most, you know, because most of the guys are enjoying the win or just, you know, had the last 2 days off. So a lot of guys are getting their bodies moving again and such. And so it'll be a really hard practice on Wednesday. Thursday, it'll probably be like a half day, but a major lift that day, early that morning. Then, you know, we'll have like different like call sheets, and we'll go over like the game plan and the film and stuff of each player and do breakdown. Then Friday, another practice. Then Saturday, Sunday, it's time to go, but Saturday or usually Friday night, it'll be, you'll go travel to, if you're in an away game, but if you're home, you have more extra time. And that stuff too is an advantage that a lot of people don't really understand. Like preparing for a home game compared to preparing for an away game is two different things. Because, man, if you're on the West Coast, you might have to fly out there on a Wednesday if you're an East Coast team. So it can be challenging, getting ready for the week. And the weeks are tough, but it's good.
Talk about that Thursday night turnaround where you play your Sunday game and then you got to come back and play on the Thursday night. If you had that experience.
Yeah, so we had only experienced 2 Thursday night games in my career and professionally, and like just from seeing it from the outside, like, bro, me personally, I think every game should be played on Sunday. I get it for the money reasons why the NFL want us, to play on a Thursday, but at the same time, it's just like that, getting ready for that's a super fast turnaround. So usually I like Mike, he would bring us in like Monday for a weight lift, then Tuesday practice. So everything's bumped up just a little bit more earlier than what it used to be. And but that Tuesday and Monday is a big film day because it's more about mentally now. You really can't prepare physically like how you usually do as much time as you usually get. So now they try to just stack it on us mentally by Monday and Tuesday. Just a really heavy mental day, breakdowns, and everything's just a little bit more into detail because games are a little bit faster on Thursday. So yeah.
Right. So throughout your journey, if you had to go back, you talking to your young son 10 years from now, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Dad, I want to play football or whatever. What are some of the things that you want to tell him that he needs to do to make sure that he gets what he can out of the game and use it for what for good?
I would just tell him, at the moment, be where your feet are. Because ever since I was a kid, I always dreamed about playing in the NFL. And I was worried about the next level. And I can say personally, like I had a lot of great memories. I enjoyed the process and everything. But it was always that feeling in me, like, oh, I got to worry about the next thing. Nah, enjoy the moment, enjoy the time, and enjoy the process and be where your feet are. And I would love for my kid to play football, but I always worry about the next thing. It's just like, be where your feet are and enjoy the moment, enjoy the process, because once it's gone, you can never get it back. You can never get it back. Right. So just enjoy the process, even to your younger guys in high school. I know they worried about college and stuff like that, but man, just remember and be where your feet are, because these memories, these moments, you'll never have again with these group of guys. You always think like, oh, I'll see these guys later, or the coaches. Like, no, the group of guys that you with now is not. The room is not going to be the same next year, and that's the unfortunate part about football. It's life, but I would just tell them, enjoy the process and have fun. Have fun, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's a lot of money that's involved with this, a lot of things, a lot of politics. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. And why do we play games? We play games to have fun. So have fun with it,
Is there a favorite memory from Maryland or your time at Maryland that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I would say my first start was a big moment for me, and it was on my birthday, which is crazy. It was on my 19th birthday, and my first career start, my freshman year, I say it was like one of my favorite memories. And also when we beat Texas the first time, and met something in the second time too as well for Jordan McNair that passed away. And yeah, those are the memories that will stay with me forever, and that means the most to me. So. My dog, sorry about that.
Yeah, so good. He's trying to get his piece in too, man.
Nah, he trying to put his piece in.
Go ahead, Coach. It's on you.
You mentioned, we know Coach Elijah Brooks. You mentioned him earlier. Who are some of the guys that influenced you throughout your career at your different stops, man, and that fed into your playing career?
So many. Mike Anderson, of course, you know, he gave out the blueprint and laid down the foundation. Coach Peacock, man, just gave me the opportunity to, you know, play for Gork and, you know, get connected with the method that way earlier in my middle school years. Of course, my dad as well for the second, and my parents, just both of them, you know, for making the sacrifices. Because without them, it wouldn't be none of this. You know, you got to have the support, you got to have the foundation and the people that are supporting you, then, you know, even sacrificing you to get to where you want to go. So I would say, you know, those people, and of course Elijah Brooks, Coach Azar as well. Man, Coach Azar, he's at Maryland now with the DBs, and just him making that transition for me, and him studying and him giving me all of his knowledge and things that he learned helped me as well. So I would say, yeah, those are the people that really helped me shape my whole entire career. Because without like one of them, man, it'd be different than what it is now. So yeah,
is Coach Azar, was he at Alabama before?
So when I was in high school, throughout my whole entire high school, he was with Bama. So he was like, I talked to him for recruiting Bama and stuff, and Coach Loxley as well. And you know, when he got to Maryland my freshman year, I wasn't even in a DB room at the time, and I had Coach Beatty. I think he's with the Vikings now, or it might be with the Bears, the receivers coach.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, but yeah, his first year at Maryland was my first year as well. So
you know why you're a good guy, though, right? You're a Carroll guy. Yeah. Them Lions, baby.
Lions, man.
Look, Tino said he's from Baltimore. He ain't thinking about Carroll.
What's on you, Coach?
So, man, you know, like I said, I really appreciate you spending time with us, man. And, you know, you mentioned Mike Anderson. We had Mike on the show a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, when Mike started grassroots football, you know, I became, you know, one of the coaches in grassroots. And, you know, Mike was influential in my son's lives, you know, in his football, his youth career and things like that, man. So, you know, I always give Mike a lot of credit. I love Mike to death, man. And we had some technical difficulties the day we had him on, so we're going to get him back on again. But that's a good guy to know, man. So when you think about somebody like Mike, and then you mentioned Coach Peacock, I'm going back into youth football now. You know, how important is it to have a solid foundation in youth football? Because nowadays in youth football, I hate to say it, it's a shit show. Youth football is a shit show right now. So how important is it to have those strong leaders and mentors in youth and on the youth level?
Man, it's extremely important. It's imperative. You know, I always say, you know, those are the most important years, you know, when developing as a football player, because like that's the base, that's the foundation. And a lot of parents and a lot of people sometimes don't want the extra help or want to seek knowledge from other people because, you know, do you think they know it all? Or their kid might be so special or something. And it might be the case, but at the same time, you know, it takes a village to get to the destination you need to go. You know, you need to have that mentor for your child for that child to succeed. And I feel like that's so important. And sometimes a lot of parents, they want to skip that step and just want their kid to go to high school and try to figure it out. But like having those people was really important, you know, for the foundation and just being exposed to the knowledge and what they know and who they're connected to as well is really important as well. And I will tell anybody that's watching, you know, they have a child that's playing youth football, you know, that's the moment where you really want to focus on the learning and just like the basics of football. And of course, like I said earlier, I want them to have fun, but at the same time, it's more about learning and, you know, more not worrying, not really more about like the training part, the physical aspect of it, because that's going to come eventually if you just work. But I would say, you know, yeah, having a mentor and having access to those people is really important to my success.
Hey, man. So, you know, what do you got going on now, man? What you doing with yourself?
Yeah, so I'm in New York City now. I'm doing a little bit of acting, modeling and stuff, and doing that stuff so far. And I'm still training for football. I'm still trying to be active with that, and just ready for the phone to ring, call for the opportunity if it comes, But if not, continue to keep grinding and continue what I'm doing.
Gotcha, man. Well, I appreciate you, man, taking time with us today, man, and you got a lot of good knowledge, man, for the young guys out there, especially my guys. Hopefully, they was listening in tonight, man, because it's always good when they hear from people that's gone through the process. Coach Devon, they get tired of hearing Coach Devon's mouth yell at them and stuff like that, man. But
sometimes you gotta hear it from the outside,
they got to hear from guys that actually went through the fire, man. That was in a position where they were at one time, man. So I appreciate you coming on, man, and taking the time.
Appreciate you having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I wish you nothing but the best, man, and root that you get that next opportunity. Yeah, like I said, man, your dad's a good guy, man. So, shout out to my man Charles for hooking this up.
Shout out to Pops.
All right, man. Well, again, thank you for joining us, man. At midnight, did you have anything? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. We did have one question. Yeah, let me get Anthony's question. And he said, Tino, since you played at the Mat, do you feel that the school is still more of a basketball school, or has it caught up to where it's one of the top 10 teams in the country for football?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Honestly, I would say this, right? Even when I was at the Mat, when we was in the championships, it's still a basketball school, man.
Yeah.
Just the alumni, the guys that come through. You got Victor Oladipo, Markel, went number 1 overall. I mean, I feel like, like worldwide, it's a basketball school, but like US, national wise, it's a football school. Or East Coast. But the basketball is too legendary. A lot of great players that came through that school. So I would say it's still a basketball school.
Yeah. The DMV is known for basketball, man, but it's a lot of good football that's come out of here, man. So,
sure.
Were you at the Mat when Chase was there, or was he?
Yeah, I was there. I think I played with him my last year. That was his junior year. Yeah, because he came to the Mat his junior year. So 2015. Yeah, so I was with Chase for 1 year.
Okay, gotcha. So we done had some ballers, come out of here on the football side. So we ain't just the football area. I mean, a basketball area. It's
100%. Like, yeah. I feel like we like both sides. We were good, but just the Matha. You talking about the Matha, man? Basketball. That's what. That's what going on that. We got a Hall of Fame basketball coach. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Besides that, you got there was years I know we played when I was coaching basketball. I think it was 2014 or 2013 where they had a squad where like the top 6 guys all went D1. Like I think James Robinson went to like Pitt.
Yeah, man.
One of the Grants was there. It was crazy, man. I was just like, yeah.
And just like the basketball, the culture around the basketball itself is crazy. It's different. It's different, man.
I totally agree, man.
Yep. Well, again, man, I appreciate you, man, taking some time, man. Spending it with us guys here, man. And like I said, man, we looking forward to your next opportunity, man, and we rooting for you, man. And like I said, thanks a lot.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, man.
But one day when you're in the area, we got to get you out to a football game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think I might be coming back in November. So, yeah. I'm definitely pull up with you guys and chop it up.
You got to see the stern coach walk. Coach got his walk when he got that walk, man. He got that stride when he get mad. I saw it twice. I was like, I don't know who that kid is, but he about to wear one.
I'm usually a quiet guy, man. And look, I had my in-laws. My in-laws came to a game for the first time Friday night as well, right? And they was like, "Oh, I seen my real son-in-law today." Yeah, it's a different animal on game days, man.
And you do what you said. You said you talked to officials from the yards, from the
Oh yeah,
numbers.
I'm at the numbers, man. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at the whole game. I'm at the numbers. They gotta tell me get back 20 times. All right, Tino, man. I appreciate you, man.
All right, Ellis.
All right, man.
Have a
Take it
good
easy.
one.
You too.
That's Tino Ellis joining us, man. Former DeMatha Stag, Merlin Turp, former NFL player, man, and spit some good knowledge out there, man. I appreciate him taking the time to talk with us, man. And Midnight Rider, you something else, man. You ain't had to bring that up about my.
Oh, I was like,
man.
I was dying, Coach. Hey, sometimes that's why I told you I'm gonna sit back and trust me. I think I walked past 5 people when I was gonna do a pregame interview with them. I was like, nah, I'm just chilling. I'm gonna sit back and watch. But yeah, I was struggling that day, bro. I was ready to get the microphones out and start talking to people. But I was like, nah.
It'd be like that, man. Look. Since I've been doing this, man, I be the same way, man. I go places and I'm like, man, should I bring my mic with me?
Exactly.
Like, nah, I'm just going to watch football. I ain't got time for all that. A couple comments. We got my guy, Coach Mook. He said, "What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Coach?
What's going on?" My guy, Kirsten, man, he laughing at you midnight talking about my stern walk, man. I know. And Coach Mook said, "Oh, you definitely wasn't quiet Friday."
Mm-mm.
Man, I know I wasn't. I mean, I'm different, man. And see, Coach Mook said it was 2 times they said, "Go get P," and I said, "Nope, I'm not going out there and get fired." And my coaches always say, man, they gotta keep me, pull me back to the sideline.
Yeah, because I think there was a spot in the first quarter. You was out there, and then they told y'all to get back. I was like, all right, coaching his bag today. But it was good, man. It was a good experience, man. But then it's also I had to realize my kids are kids, and when they come to watch football games, they're not there for the football game sometimes. Right. I had a couple little sections with kids and coming over, and they were talking about something going on or whatever. I was just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
It's high school.
Yeah, it's different nowadays, man. These kids are on different times, man. But
it's the technology they have at their hands, man.
Yeah. And we gotta get you to come back to another game, man. Once it when it's at 7:00, it's already dark outside, man. So you can get the full experience of our opening, man. We had some technical difficulties with our tunnel.
Yeah, I saw that.
We couldn't get the tunnel blowed up, man, and so our entrance was a little thrown off a little bit, but
Coach, you got lights, man. You do a light show. That's when I noticed when I was paying attention, I was like, wait a second, they got the colored lights. It took FedEx like years to get this, and we got it. They got it already.
Right, yeah, man. We got the color lights, man. We got, when we score, we can flip them in different patterns and things like that, man. So, that's why you hear a lot of the coaches say the light show. We heard about the light show. We come to see the light show.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
So what you got coming up this week again?
Yeah, man. So this week, we'll go to our preview for this upcoming week, man. So as far as us, we're traveling down Upper Marlboro to play against Wise this weekend. Okay. That's a 7 p.m. kick down there. Like I said earlier, Wise has, been one of the better teams in the county and the state for a while now. So it's a tough test for us. Looking at them and seeing where we are. We got to come out there and we got to play a good game. We can't make the mistakes that we made. Definitely can't turn over the ball because they will capitalize off your turnovers. But I think we can, we get out there and our guys play smart ball and play hard, man. It's a game. So we're going to see how it goes, man. But it is a tough road to do, man. So, but me as a coach, man, shoot, I'm always ready. I think I can beat anybody. So hopefully my guys got that same mentality, and we taking the 300 on the road this week.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Other games in the county, we got Jack's boys, Bladensburg going to take on Bowie. Bladensburg is just in a tough spot right now. I'm not even going to get on that soapbox, but they got their work cut out for them this week. The big game in the county, I say this week, man, is Charles Flowers versus Roosevelt.
Okay.
Two of the better teams in the county, so that's going to be a good matchup, man. Flowers, like I said, they returned a lot of players. They were a young team last year, so and Rose is always one of the solid programs in the county. Then you got Duval playing against Oxon Hill, Parkdale playing against Potomac. We got Northwestern taking on Suitland this week. Those are your 4A schools, your 4A games. Then we go down into 2A, 1A, 2A teams. So then we got, we already did Oxon Hill and Duval. We got Crossland taking on Alexandria City. Gwynn Park is taking on Newtown from out of Baltimore. That should be a good game there. I hate the way they list these things. We got Douglas. We had Coach Sutton on a couple of weeks ago. They're going to Baltimore to take on Lake Clifton. Friendly High School is taking on Kip from out of D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Largo's taking on Glen Burnie from out of Anne Arundel County. Glen Burnie's had a pretty decent team the last couple of years. Central will be playing against Reginald Lewis. That's who Surrattsville just played over the weekend. And Fairmont Heights is taking on Douglas from out of Baltimore. So that'll be a big test for Fairmont Heights there. And that's what we got. Yeah. Oh, then we got Surrattsville. We're taking on Digital Pioneers from out DC. We just played Roosevelt last weekend. So that's our schedule for this week in PG County, man. Like I said, that big game is going to be Flowers and Roosevelt. I'm sure that's going to be a packed game, packed house. And, it's rolling now, man.
Yes, sir.
Football kicked it off on Friday nights. Soccer opened up their play dates today. Volleyball will be opening up this week, man. And then we got our first official girls flag games tomorrow. Lowell is the host site, one of the host sites in the county. We got 4 games at Lowell tomorrow. Starting with our girls playing Bowie High School at 4:00 at the 300. So that's an exciting time, man, to get these girls out here, man. They just had a nice uniform reveal last week. The Redskins or the Commanders donated the uniforms for all the schools in the county, man. And the young ladies are up next, man. They're ready to show their talent. So that should be a good day tomorrow. And the way they do it is they selected 4 sites each week. So between the 4 sites, they'll host 4 games at each site. So, that's how they'll do it. So, Law, I know we're hosting, I think, 2 or 3 of the weeks during the season. So that's what we got coming up in the county this week, man. What you got going on this week? On your third week shows you on.
This week we got tomorrow, Tuesday Night Flight, 8:00. We might go 8:05 because we do the TBS thing. Wednesday, we got a good one. Gentleman by the name of Melvin Parker. He's my best friend's father-in-law, but this guy just has this wealth of knowledge, these stories. One of the main reasons I gravitated towards him is because he was one of the first older men that I talked to right after my dad passed away. So after my dad passed away, my buddy had his Juneteenth celebration, and I just sat with this guy hadn't talked to him really, seen him in passing, and like he just had stories. Talked about his time in Philly, because he got to be real close with like Randall Cunningham and guys like that. In college, he was close with Duke basketball player Gene Banks. So I'm gonna try to get him in a couple of those stories. But just a real good dude. He was in the bodybuilding. He's got an interesting resume, man. We're gonna be all a little bit everywhere on Wednesday night at 8:00 in the passenger seat. Thursday, of course, we got the Thursday night throwdown. The greatest show on Friday Eve. We'll probably get in that about 7:15, 7:30, so we can be out before the game starts. Of course, we're previewing Green Bay and Washington, so that's gonna be
a good battle.
It's gonna be a real good battle. And then Friday, of course, we're off. Saturday is the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs, and then Sunday morning, you gotta start your week off right, as Coach Jackson say. You gotta start your week with the Sunday Rise, and that's just how we go.
Got you, man. Well, you know, the hardest working man in podcast world. That's you. Look, I'll be trying to keep up with you, man. You know, it's that time of year, man, where I'm just rolling all the time. So, you know, I'll be getting in the car and I'm like, all right, man, I got to cut the show on real quick.
Hey, man, don't forget it's on YouTube. All you got to do is go back and check it out. Shoot, I got to do it sometimes. I got to go back and catch Maddie.
It ain't nothing like catching it live, man. You know,
that.
The whole interaction, man. I just love that part of it.
I just find it amazingly funny how I'm in a group with 6, 7, 8 guys. I've probably hung out with them once or twice at most, and we've done this for 5 years. But it's just like when that light, I tell people all the time, when that light turns on, it's just a whole different thing.
Right. Hey, man, it's like a family, man. Like I said, you know, I finally met you in person.
Yes.
I finally met you in person, man. You know, I've been knowing BJ for over 20 years, so I knew BJ. But you know, KG and Jack, I've never met those guys in person, man. But it's like, hey, man, everybody's family, man. You know, everybody likes to talk shit. It's just one of those things. I'm gonna talk a little trash right now, just to let you know. You know, you didn't do too good in your picks this week either.
I'm not worried about this week.
Okay, I'm just letting you know. You know, that's 7 for 8. Man. I mean, 7 out of what is 7 and 8? Yeah, 7 and 8. Yeah, that's a little rough there, man. But
hey, in the words of Davy Johnson, bumpy roads lead. Bumpy roads lead to beautiful places, baby. That's all I'm gonna say. Bumpy roads lead to. I've been here before. Actually, I was in the same spot last year, and I won it all. So I'm good.
Okay, got you. All right. Well, I wasn't there last year, so
all right.
A little different.
That's just one more person I got to catch up to. That's all. And pass.
Oh, okay. Got you. All right, man. Well, as always, man, I appreciate you, man.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. We you know, I ain't do too bad tonight. It's 8:05. That ain't too bad.
Hold on. Don't let's not go too far.
Okay.
What's your fantasy team looking like? Oh, you down 6. You got
I'm
2
down
more
right
tonight.
now.
He's got Jefferson. You've got Swift and the Bears defense.
Yeah. You know, Justin Jefferson, you know, that hamstring gonna tighten up on him early. So once that tightens up on him, he gonna sit down and then, you know, Swift gonna bring it home for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting in with my dub already, so I'm ready.
Oh, okay, got you. Got you. Hey, man, you know, I thought, you know, Williams let me down from Detroit. He only gave me 6 points. Who else was it? Golf didn't do any damn thing.
Yeah, this was a bad week for Detroit, but
yeah,
I always tell people I don't worry about my team until we get to week 5 or 6. If I'm struggling then I got problems because somebody didn't. My hot rookie didn't hold his ground, or he's a flop. Like it's stuff like that I think about.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll be holding up the trophy at the end anyway, so it's okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. All right, man. I'm gonna get back to enjoying my little mini vacation.
All right, man. Do your thing, man. Thanks for having me on as always.
Oh
See you
man,
next week.
Yep, next week, and I'm still confirming my guests for next week.
Your
I'll
boy
let you
does
know.
want to talk. If you haven't talked to him yet,
Who's that, Mark?
yeah, I talked
Okay,
to
yeah.
him. Talked to him Sunday morning right before we jumped on. So,
Okay, yep. I'm gonna send him a text right now.
all right, cool.
Yep, send him a text right now, man. The hope is the next week, man. I have some actual highlights, man, and we can also get into starting our male athlete of the week and our female athlete of the week. So,
Oh, and before we go, one
mhm.
thing I want to give the parents that run your concession stand some love because those ladies took care of me. I had the cheesiest cheeseburger I ever had, and it was one of the best cheeseburgers I ever had. But they did a good job, man. And then I know they're always under stress, but those ladies were organized and ready to go. If I'm listening to any of the guys that was doing that as well, just any of the parents in general at the concession stand did a great job.
And let me tell you something. So, two ladies that run it mainly. One is my cousin and one is my sister-in-law.
Okay.
And they run their concession stand. They treat it like they own the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
But they work, man. They put in the work. They drive me crazy, but they put in the work, man. So, Joy and Tyra, they listen to the show sometimes. I appreciate y'all hard work. They got to run it tomorrow without me being there. So, they didn't already went shopping, took care of everything, man. So they ready to go tomorrow. So,
Okay.
yep, they do a great job. And we had some other parents. Miss Christie, who's actually our quarterback's mom. She was in there also on Friday. We had a couple of my wife's cheerleading parents in there, Miss Akila, Miss Tierra, and Miss, gosh, kill me. Amani, what's Amani's stepmom's name? What's the other parent that was in the concession stand Friday? Amira. There we go. Amira. Miss Amira was in there. So, and then Miss Tasha, one of my running backs' mom, she was in there too. So,
Yeah.
got to give them this shout out. If not, they'll kill me. They asked me when they was gonna be on the show. I just laughed at.
Hey, man, we might have to get one of them on there, one or two of them on.
Man, we'll never get off. No, we'll never get off. Nope.
All right, cool,
Nope.
man.
Don't do it. All right, man. John Thompson just say we don't do no overtime, but we already did 10 minutes of it. So I can't say that today.
All right.
I'll catch everybody next week, man. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us again on the Pretenders and Contenders Coaches Show. The host, Coach Devon Powell, and the co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Midnight Rider.
Have a good night, y'all.